exciting intro. For the first time ever, the Vatican will allow priests to bless same-sex couples, although their definition of marriage has not changed. The Catholic Church still defines marriage as being between a man and a woman. Critics say this doesn't go far enough. So, Lauren, I'm going to start with you. What do you think about this progress, or can you even call it progress?
It's giving ally.
Okay.
Like, this is definitely ally with a question mark. Yeah. If my acting wasn't good enough for you all to realize the point I was trying to make, I think it's a step in the right direction, for sure. The last ruling was that, like, they have to, quote, oppose same-sex unions. That said, this is not the ability to get married. It's not even the ability to have a blessing within a ceremony that looks like a marriage. So it does reinforce the fact that still same-sex unions are inferior to heterosexual marriages. And I'm new to the community, so I asked my Instagram audience last night what they thought, and I got a lot of messages of support from straight allies that were really excited, but most of the LGBTQ followers that I have were hurt. The cut is really deep, and it's a little bit too little, too late. So that's kind of the feedback that I've had from my community online.
Well, I can't say as I blame them. If you read the headline, you do kind of think, oh, progress. And then you read the fine print, like it's a contract that you're signing away for a phone service or something like that. And it's like, we'll offer you this blessing, yay. But don't confuse it with acceptance, because in the eyes of God, obviously you're not really getting married. And also that cosplaying bit. Like, you cannot wear any sort of wedding attire on your wedding day, and you won't get the blessing on the wedding day, so don't cosplay your wedding. You won't even get it on the civil, if you have a civil union, you can't get that blessing. And the blessing, they even outline the definition of it being like, the purpose of a blessing is to increase your trust in God. How can you trust a God that doesn't see you or love you or respect your choices?
And therein
who you love?
lies the point. We have been dehumanized by the church for so long that we have adopted a way of life wherein we don't want or need your blessing to live a happy life and love who we love. In our world, love is love, and that is our religion.
It's so funny. It's so funny that you say that, because I reached out to my friends who are in the LGBT community, and that was their response. And I think my first reaction when I heard this news was to, like most people, just kind of go, great, this is fantastic, this is a huge step. But now when I'm seeing the reaction, there seems to be a lot more anger, disappointment, and confusion about what he has just said. And the first thing I noticed is the ultra-conservative Catholics, they're reimagining what the Pope said. And as they see it as the Pope is saying, we still do not recognize same-sex relationships. But what we are going to do is be pastoral to those who struggle with same-sex attraction and introduce them to the word of God. That's how they're interpreting it. Now, other leaders from other religions are also using this as a way to downplay Catholicism and say, listen, look at this. Is this a real religion? They keep updating like it's an iPhone. You can't trust this. This is not a real religion.
But their updates are 1,000 years too late in most cases.
Yeah, but
the phone is obsolete.
I know, but then when you talk to, like you just mentioned, when you talk to the actual community, they don't care. They don't want to be blessed. And the number one thing I looked at, and that's what I said, I go, why? Why is this happening? And when you look at the numbers, in 1986, the number of people who identified as Catholic was like 81%. By 2020, it was down to 47%.
Wow.
Last year, 17.7%.
You're kidding.
So I'm thinking, is this all in a play to get people back to the Catholic Church? Because why? Why is he saying this right now? It's very interesting.
I think it's because he's 87 years old and he's thinking about his,
his legacy.
Yeah, and I think he's thinking about his legacy. And for all the reasons that you've all mentioned, and you so eloquently, I don't think this is something that deserves to be applauded. And yet, when I thought about it, I thought, are we letting perfect get in the way of progress?
Ah, okay.
Is this a baby step? Is a baby step better than no steps at all? At least he's trying. And I'm not saying it's good enough. And this institution, how can it be trusted by members of the LGBTQ plus community when for so long it has been straight up homophobic?
Yeah.
And made them feel less than. But is this not a little bit of a step toward trying to accept?
Because the big changes that we've seen for all groups, it's all started with a very small step. So that's why I was excited. I was like, let's not denounce him. This is a small step. For the Catholics, this is huge. But then when I'm seeing the way everybody's interpreting it, it's not being seen that way.
It all depends on your lived experience, you know? And I think that's why we're seeing varied responses responses, and religion is a personal thing. So to each their own, but I do agree that it's a small step in the right direction. There are just some folks who don't care to be on this ride anymore.
Yeah, that's
It just feels like we give the Catholic Church a pass over and over again for their lateness in progress, and I don't know why. That's a rhetorical question. Let's move on. Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.